Oh, joining us from Brussels is Frank Barat. He is an author and a film producer. To double down after they know that it was a video which had been faked, at the end of the day, Frank, almost seems as though there's an alternate agenda going on here.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, your segment explained it very well, right? What she said or what she didn't say doesn't matter. The fact that matters is that Western powers and politicians have been trying to dismiss Francesca Albanese and to have a fire for the last 2 years because she has been, speaking truth to power for the last 2 years. And she has been showing that every pretty much Western government has been aiding and abetting the genocide in Gaza and in a way not fulfilling their most basic duties under international law. So what she said or what she didn't say really doesn't matter. And the proof is that even though the statement has been debunked as propaganda and fake news, the governments, including the French ones, are not backing down and are still asking for Francesca's removal.
Yeah, I mean, how does that, you mentioned the French government, and how does this actually then sit next to the French government's stated commitment to the international humanitarian order, or humanitarian law, I should say, here as well, and with its criticism of then Albanese?
I mean, the French government support for international law has just been words over the last 2 years. And what we need now is actions. I mean, the French, it's easy for the Jean-Noël Barrot, the French foreign minister, and Macron to repeatedly say that they support international law while the facts show the sort of complete opposite, right? And again, that's what Francesca Albanese has been highlighting for the last 2 years, that under international law, states have a duty to act to prevent genocide, even before the genocide happens. And they've been failing completely in the last 2 years. So France's support for international law is only words. And again, because Francesca is highlighting this hypocrisy, she's been targeted by most, Western governments. And this is what we, the people, have to sort of highlight and fight against.
But, this whole episode, what does it tell us about the independence of these special rapporteurs here? And should countries or governments be calling for their resignation?
Of course not. But again, it's, the political agenda of these governments is to actually crush down any criticism of Israel. And we've seen it in the streets of Europe. We've seen it in the streets of the US. People calling for an end to the genocide, people calling for the respect of international law have been targeted, have been criminalized, while the perpetrators of a genocide have been let go. I mean, there's been, in the last 2 years, not one sanctions towards the state of Israel. So again, the point is not what Francesca is saying or not saying. The point is she's sticking to international law, sticking to what countries actually should do and their roles to stop a genocide, and she's targeted for this reason and this reason only.
Frank, I mean, is this then really all about tone and rhetoric here, rather than actually about how the international community responded ultimately to the genocide or lack of response?
I think it's not about tone or rhetoric. It's about the goal is to distract us from the fact that the genocide in Gaza is still ongoing. More than 500 people have been killed since the so-called ceasefire. The goal is to distract us from the fact that Israel has just announced that he wanted to annex the whole of the West Bank. The goal is to distract us from the fact that the Knesset is talking about a law to execute Palestinian prisoners guilty or convicted of murder, and not a law that won't apply to Israeli citizens. And the goal is to distract us from the fact that Netanyahu is under an arrest warrant for war crimes and crimes against humanity. This is entirely the goal. It's to scare us and to make us, silent.
Frank, thank you so much. Frank Barat there, joining us from Brussels. He's an author and a film producer.
Thanks for having me.
Don't miss out and get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.